Look at me, I'm
Everything about this young Boston Celtics season has been cosmically unlikely from the way it began, with their prized free agent acquisition suffering a devastating injury on a complete fluke of a play just 5 minutes into his Celtics career, to the nutty run of games that followed. Boston's post-Hayward injury magic hit a dry spell Wednesday night when they finally dug a hole they couldn't climb out of and lost to the Miami Heat. But before Dion Waiters iced the game with a pair of back-breaking threes, the Celtics had slashed a 15-point fourth-quarter deficit down to 1. In the span of about 4 minutes, and a familiar thought crept in: oh my god, they're going to do it again. Before that game, after all, they'd reeled off the most inexplicable succession of wins in recent NBA history. The idea they'd find a way to keep the streak going in still more improbable fashion Wednesday seemed almost likely. They didn't, though, and the streak came to an end. But before we move on, let's look back at the 16-game run that defied every particle of logic while simultaneously captivating the league. Comeback season understandably shaken after seeing Hayward go down on opening night, the Celtics lost despite a spirited comeback to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then they traveled home to face the young and energetic Milwaukee Bucks on the second night of a back-to-back, and predictably lost again. 2 days later, they went into halftime trailing the 76ers by 4 in Philadelphia when an unclever fan asked Kyrie Irving where LeBron was. Irving responded swiftly and crudely, and for a month after that, the Celtics did not lose. They matched the 22-ND longest win streak in league annals, and they did so despite integrating 7 new players, having 3 rookies in the regular rotation, and facing injury absences from Irving, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Marcus Morris, and Marcus Smart at various points along the way. They did it despite a below-average offense that produced the league's 7th worst effective field goal percentage during the streak, including a 5-game stretch in which they ranked dead last in field goal shooting 38.7% and 28th in three-point shooting 29%. Some contests they won routinely, most they didn't. They pulled out close game after close game. The Celtics' average margin of victory during those 16 games was 9.8 points. In the past 20 years, the NBA has seen 18 win streaks of at least 15 games, and of those, only the Denver Nuggets' 15-gamer in 2013 with an average margin of 10.2 was near as narrow. All the others produced MOVs between 11.3 and 16.8. In 11 of Boston's 16 wins, the score was within 5 points in the final 5 minutes, which is what the league defines as a clutch situation. During the streak, just 2 teams played more clutch minutes. And yet the Celtics came out ahead each time, because during those 39 minutes they outscored their opponents by 59 points while posting a collective shooting line of .597, .400, .875. Leading the charge was Irving, who went for 62 points on 23 of 32 shooting, with 7 assists and a +55 rating in 28 clutch minutes. They engineered comeback after comeback. They faced double-digit deficits in 6 of those 16 games, including 4 games in which they trailed by at least 15 and trailed in the fourth quarter in 9 of them. They won 7 games in which the win probability dipped below 25%, and 4 in which it fell below 7%. They came back from 18 down to beat the Thunder, overcame a 12-point fourth-quarter deficit against the Hornets without Irving or Horford, and put together a 193rd quarter run to erase a 17-point deficit against the Warriors, who outscore teams by 24.5 points per 100 possessions in third quarters. In the streak's final win, the Celtics trailed the Mavericks by 13 with just over 7 minutes left in regulation, the win probability bottoming out at 2.5% before they stormed back and triumphed in overtime. Analyze this: there's no cogent reason for this to have happened. The Celtics traded away arguably the 2 best perimeter defenders this past off-season, and have vaulted from 12th in defensive rating to 1st. The addition of Aaron Baines alone does not explain how they've morphed from the league's 4th worst rebounding team to its 3rd best. A development that's helped them win 7 games in which they've shot a lower percentage than their opponent. And their offense is Well, Smart takes the third most field goal and three-point attempts on the team, and he shoots 27% from the field and 25.3% from deep. They've subsisted on Horford's pristine defensive rotations, Jaylen Brown's man-to-man clampdowns, Tatum's ability to attack closeouts and finish at the rim, Bane's nasty screens and dirty work in the low post, Irving's something-from-nothing playmaking brilliance, and on Smart's sprinkling of everything. The closest thing to a blueprint they created during the streak was, defend like madmen, eke out enough points to keep things close, and let Kyrie take over down the stretch. It was maddeningly effective. Again, the man who is arguably their best player has been sidelined the entire time. They're obviously a worse team without Hayward, but it's fair to wonder if they would have pulled this off had he remained healthy. His injury gave way to a kind of stubborn pride and fierce energy around the team. For 16 games they got by on effort and creativity and sheer force of will. They turned resilience into a calling card. They turned vulnerability into a strength. They made the improbable feel probable.